All right. So we're ready for our second application. Okay, car making a turn on a horizontal road. So here's the top view, the aerial view. Let's say there is some curved road. Okay, and you have a vehicle that is moving in this direction. It is going to make a turn. Okay, let the radius of the road be r, and the side view, or let's say if you're on the road, if you're looking at the vehicle is going away from you. It is going into the paper here with speed v, and the radius is r. Okay, we ask, so these are the tires, and here we are. So we ask the question again, hey, what force is responsible for this vehicle making a turn? Okay, because if we go back to our previous concept where we said that, hey, if something is moving in a circle, there must be a centripetal force. We ask, hey, what is responsible for the force in this case? Okay, now since the road is flat, okay, the only thing that could possibly be doing this, it has to be the force of friction. Okay, now it also happens that the type of friction, which is whether it's kinetic or static, that actually is responsible for the object to maintain this circular path is static friction. Okay, so what we know is that the force of friction that is responsible is the static friction. And so now we can draw a free body diagram for this object. So we can use this side view as our perspective. Okay, and we have the block here. We have force of gravity, which is, let's say, mg. The contact force is Fn, and we have the force of friction, which is towards the center. And that's very important. Remember this. The force of friction is towards the center of the circle. Okay, which is equal to F sub S. Okay, and once we know this, we know that there are no other forces, and the object's acceleration is obviously pointing toward the center of the circle, which will be equal to mv square over r, or mac. So what this gives us is that if we look at the equations, okay, F sub S is equal to mv square divided by r. So as long as the speed is such, okay, that mv square over r is below the maximum static friction, you can safely negotiate the turn. Okay, once it goes beyond a certain maximum value, okay, which is basically when mv square goes beyond fs max, then you can no longer negotiate this turn. Okay, so in that case, you're going to start slipping, and by the way, once you start slipping, you're at the mercy of whatever is going to stop you. Okay, there's nothing that you can do about it from inside the car. So let's figure this out. Let's figure the maximum speed out to find the max v to negotiate the turn. Okay, we replace fs by fs max. Okay, and we know that fs max is nothing but mu s fn. So what we have is mu s times fn, when in this case happens to be mg, is equal to m times v, I'm just going to call this v max square over r. Okay, and so this happens to be equal to v, so v max square is equal to mu s times g times r. The masses cancel out, and so v max is equal to square root of mu s g times r. So what this expression tells us is that the maximum speed with which you can negotiate a turn is independent of the mass of the vehicle. All it depends on is mu s, and that's the important thing, and the radius, of course, of the circle. So the tires are what are going to determine whether you can negotiate a turn carefully or not. It doesn't matter if you could be driving a Lamborghini, but if your tires are messed up, it's not going to do any good. All right, so this gives us the maximum value for the speed. Any speed below this Vmax should allow you to safely negotiate the turn. Vmax means you're messing up. Okay, like already at that point, things are getting risky, things are getting dangerous. So be careful out there. Keep Vmax in mind, mu s square root mu s gr, and then you'll be able to safely drive on the roads.